The cheesecake we'll do probably at the end. It just, a lot of it I'm trying to figure out in terms of timing, because it all stays and it goes in the freezer tomorrow, okay? It needs to set up, the chocolate mousse stone that I'm gonna make, all of that, you need to let it set up so that when you come in on Wednesday, you can pop, or Thursday, you can pop a lot of stuff out, and then I'm just gonna show you some simple plating techniques, okay? Get the wheels turning a little, you know, a little trial and error on how you do stuff. You know, plating is not easy. I'm sure you learned that. You saw that in Foundation 3, that you all plated a lot of stuff, okay? So the same rules will apply here. It's not going to be as easy as you think it is. You know, and a lot of it's just creativity aspect. So, let's get to hopping. Flourless chocolate cake I'm going to start out with, okay? 10 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, some butter, we got some eggs, I believe, 10 yolks, alright, and then 8 whites. I believe you got 3 ounces of sugar on each one, alright. So flourless cake is not difficult at all. And then we're going to put it on a half sheet tray. This is going to be the bottom of your mousse dough that you all are going to make, okay? So, without a doubt, let me enlighten you up front, this is going to be very rich, okay? Very rich dessert. So, I believe on there, it tells you to do the chocolate and butter over bain-marie, right? Mm-hmm. Well, as always, I'm all about saving you some time. So, let's, you good? Alright, so, initially, is I'm going to put the chocolate or the butter right on the heat. And I'm going to let that melt down. And then the whole notion is once it melts down, I'm going to let the butter do the work for me and melt down the chocolate. How about that? Does that make sense to everybody? Now, keep in mind, very important, all right? I talked to you guys last Friday before you left. You got to watch what I'm telling you to do, okay? You cannot just drop butter and chocolate onto the rest. The chocolate will scorch, and it'll scorch instantly, okay? It is not, chocolate is not made with regular butter, it's made with cocoa butter. Cocoa butter has a very low melting point, a very low smoke point, rather, all right? So, melt down the butter. Once the butter is melted, then we'll stir in the chocolate. And then that'll be melted. And it will take you a matter of seconds. Alright? Now, I believe this is semi-sweet chocolate. Even if it's bittersweet chocolate, it'll still turn out fine. Alright? Now, flourless chocolate cake is not something that rises up, okay? It's not going to balloon, it's not going to have any fluff, you know, sponginess or bounce to it, okay? Literally, you're just putting, what, some eggs, chocolate, and some butter into a pan, and that's it, all right? So as my butter melts down, all right, I'll whisk in the chocolate. And you all are going to do this in groups, okay? So you'll have everything you all do tomorrow will be groups of 2. When it comes down to your plating, you all will divvy everything out to each other. All right, you split it, and then you all design your plate. You'll have your cheesecake to play with. You'll have your domes to play with. The devil's food cake, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. All right, there's a chance we just might glaze it. Cover it, and then you can cut it up. Alright, so butter melts. Now, from this point, I'm gonna turn my heat down. Heat turns down. Stir in my chocolate. Like so. take it off. Take it off the stove. Now, the butter only came up to a very low simmer, and it honestly didn't even simmer. Once I got it all melted, I took it off, dumped the chocolate in one shot. Alright. Now, you can do it the other way, ladies and gentlemen. I would never say that you can't, but it'll take you a minute to get it done. Alright. Egg yolks. Go in. Alright. Wait a minute. You grab me 2 whisks. Alright. Now, with the yolks we're going to take up to what's called ribbon stage. Egg yolks and sugar can go in one shot. Alright. Alright, so sugar goes in, all sugar in one shot, they're yolks, no big deal. Alright.
You can do this by hand.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with doing it by hand either. Alright. Speed 3. You can whip the yolks and the sugar on speed 3. Alright, make sure all your yolk is in there. And it's not going to take long. Yolks and sugar will whip up pretty easily. Alright, now, while that's whipping, you will feel, you want to make sure that the bowl is really light and nice and clean. On the side. Lights will pick up on the fact that there's something in them. Alright, so the yolks get nice and thick, pale. Like I said, it doesn't take long. Also, when you put your hand on the bottom of the bowl, it warms up everything. Things tend to fluff more if they're warmed up underneath. Alright, so souffle. Saturday I did mimosa. 26 of them. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I just make up stuff and people buy it. So I did orange souffles with champagne powder. Unbelievable. Alright, so light, thick, and I believe ribbon stage. Alright. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I'll always check. Alright, so I only know one way to explain this, and this might sound hokey, but it is what it is. Alright, so when I do ribbon stage, you see the light, thick, pale, yeah? Alright, so a lot of times what I'll do, I don't know if you can zoom in on this production man, so stay right there. Alright, so a lot of times what I'll do is I take the whisk, and then what I do is I make a figure 8 in the bowl. Alright? And if I can see the figure 8 before it settles down into the batter, then I know that's ribbon stage. Okay? So the whole idea is that it has some kind of body to it. Alright? And that's what you want. Now, can you go too far with egg yolks and sugar? You could, but it would take you a long time to get there. I mean, a very long time. Egg yolks, if I remember right, I'm a little off. They can probably go 5 to 6 times their size with air incorporated in them. So if you think about what we started with in the bowl, how it barely covered the bottom, and then look at what you have now. All right. So set that aside just for a second. Now, of course, let's move on to the white. And the reason I did the chocolate first is because I wanted to cool down some. All right. So now, whites go into a bowl.
That's 12 ounces.
That is, what is it, 8 whites, I believe.
Should be about 16.
I would say this is probably 1.5, yeah, it's probably 12 ounces of white, yeah.
What's on the egg yolk?
Huh?
How many ounces of the egg yolk?
Egg yolks are generally ½ ounce,
Oh.
all right?
5 ounces.
Egg whites are generally
Egg
1.5 ounces.
Yeah. I think it said egg yolk.
All right, so here we go. Egg white.
So that's just egg whites or egg whites and sugar?
This is egg white. When we do French meringue, how do we do it? Sugar added in stages, 3 stages. Always. Don't just dump your sugar into the egg white. Alright? You'll have what's called broken sponges when it whips up. Alright, so a little heat on my hand, huh? No sugar's in there yet. You want to let the egg white whip up 70%, then you start to add in the sugar and stages. Now, a lot of times I like to show you the stage. Alright, so, just my 2 cents to you. Alright, if you don't see your egg whites do that after they get on the machine for maybe a minute, if you don't have that where you start to see some kind of peaks in them, stop what you're doing. You're wasting your time. The egg whites aren't going to balloon, okay? There's something in there that's keeping them from ballooning, so just stop and start fresh, okay? You can sit there and try and let it go and let it go. They're not going to do anything. There's something in the egg white. What's that? Something in the bowl, something in the egg white. If they don't try to go back to the minute, they're ice cold. Stop. They're not going to work. Alright, so, now we're at soft peaks. Alright, so once again, just so everybody can see, I'm at a soft peak. Alright, so now we'll start to add in the sugar in stages. 3 stages. I always add the sugar. French meringue, common meringue. Alright. Last day. All right. So. Alright, so that is your meringue. if you want. All right? Everybody's good? All right, now then. All right, so now, of course, we have to be gentle in our folding. I told some of you last week about your folding. You fold like linebackers, right? Gentle, all right? Fold like you handle your little people. All right, so
You're gonna have some experience with that.
egg yolks, 2 seeds. All right, now, flourless cake, I told you it's gonna be rich, and at the same token, I always, offer you options. If you wanted, you could add coffee into this as well. A lot of times coffee is added into it. Gives a little different flavor. All right, 2 sage. So you have what I call clouds in there. Clouds are the egg whites. All right, they get kind of caught up, don't necessarily smooth out, which is fine. Trying to get there. You grab that spatula out of the sausage gravy and rinse it off there. On the stove. I need a stronger spatula than this. All right. Now, last aspect, I'll show you a little trick of the trade. You might dig it, you might not. I did this at an ACF competition. Everybody thought I was going to get dinged, but turns out, no ding. You can fold with a whisk.
What would you have gotten beef?
A lot of people thought I was going to deflate the actual batter. And the whole notion was, it was just a matter of, once again, how you handle it. I for whatever reason, I couldn't find my spatula, and I knew my time was ticking in terms of getting something incorporated, so I started using my whisk. And all the judges came over and surrounded me, and they were watching what I did, but I also remember the fact I was being really gentle with it, and still turned out fine. All right, chocolate in. Same motion, same ease. All right. Make sure you put everything in there. Now I'll tell you what. I got it. Just so I can go around the sides. Like so. All around the side. Smooth batter. Flawless chocolate cake. And as always, I always like to show you the fact that it doesn't take long to do. It looks like a regular cake batter. Alright? But what'll be the biggest surprise is when it bakes up, it's not at the most, it'll be half an inch thick. Alright, so we're gonna bake on a half sheet pan. I believe it says on there what? Still oven? Meaning conventional? Well, here's the thing, always, keep in mind, you honestly don't know what you'll be baking in. You know, you go into some kitchens nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, you think you're going to have the best of the best equipment, and that may not be the case, okay? I've been in some very old kitchens in my time, all right, and it more or less it is what it is. You just got to make do with what you have, okay? And I always, you guys know, I always like to give you real talk, tell you about the real world, the whole nine, okay? Even in some of your higher end kitchens, please don't think that you're going to walk in and have Viking and Wolf and, you know, that kind of equipment. It's not going to happen. So that's why I always encourage you, as you all are, you know, shopping around for your spot and, you know, planning your business, you got to think about stuff like that. Who knows, what are the two things that you need to make your business survive? What is it? Time and money.
Patience.
Patience. No. For your business to survive, generally, you probably need a couple of things. You need two things, and I've heard this from several. What is it, Crawford? Tell me.
You need resources.
True.
Customers.
Customers, absolutely. Well, some of the two things that I've heard from many owners, entrepreneurs, here in Atlanta, here in Georgia, first and foremost, you need a place to park. You've got to have parking. We laugh, but now that you sit back and think about it, yeah, I had to have a place to park my ride. Because if you don't, people aren't going to come. And you need foot traffic. You need foot traffic and you need parking. You got to admit, how many times you've been, somebody asked you to come somewhere and what's the first thing you say? Is there any place to park? Yeah, what you got to do is, oh, no, never mind. I'll catch y'all next time. I'll catch y'all next time. No, it's not that far. Ooh, you said far. Now, if I'm lying, stop. You know, it's like that. It's not that far. Ooh. And it's dark. I'll catch y'all next time. See? So, you know, like I said, those are the few things that I've heard from many owners, many entrepreneurs that, yeah, they had to make sure they had a place to park, for everybody to park. And
That nice, I'll go there, they never have parking.
if you don't, people aren't going to come. That's the truth.
Seems like the most successful places tend to be in plazas with like grocery stores.
Yep.
You have a ton of traffic and a ton of parking.
And a ton of parking space. That's right. All right. So, flawless chocolate cake. Now, I believe it is they put this on a half sheet, right? All right. So, I know this is on a balloon.
So people eat that right out the oven, just that?
Flawless chocolate cake? Yes, you can.
That's almost like
I noticed you were spray the paint.
Sir?
I noticed you were spray the paint.
I sprayed the bottom earlier, and then I just put the parchment on top. So yeah, I did. I sprayed it. Always. There's very few recipes that I've ever encountered that I don't use. Angel food cake. Angel food cake pan, the bundt pan, for whatever reason, they tell you not to spray it. Okay? Because the spray interferes with the chemistry of the egg white. I spray mine. If it's a metal pan, I spray mine. Now, a lot of times now, we use, these flex molds, nothing sticks to these at all. So,
I like to do put that stuff out.
I noticed the spray can here when it was, baking the plastic.
yeah. All right. So, flourless chocolate cake, try and make sure it's nice and level. All right. I got a little bit left in there that I'm not going to use. I mean, you can take the cake batter. Very rich. This is very rich, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I can tell you that right now. All right, so I believe it says 350 conventional oven. Is that right? I'm going to put this probably in at 335. I'll set all your ovens tomorrow. When this comes out, initially when it bakes up, it'll probably balloon up above the pan. I can tell you that now. But once it comes out and CO2 releases, it'll probably go back to right where it is. Okay? And this will be your base for your chocolate mousse donuts. All right? How long are they going to bake? This will probably bake, I'm going to lowball it somewhere in the 25, 35 minute range. Okay? The thing that you have to keep in mind, a couple of aspects about this, okay? Flourless chocolate cake, keep in mind the name of it. There's no gluten in it, okay? So, what you're going to have to do is when you go in and touch it, okay, you're going to look at it, you feel it, there is no spring. A lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to touch it and your finger's going to sink down into it, okay? 35 minutes is probably around the time that you'll need to bake it off, all right? If you're not sure, you can ask me. There will be some firmness to it, but it is not a cake that will spring back like you think it should, okay? So please keep that part in mind, all right?
So is it kind of like a brownie?
It's along the lines of brownies, but even brownies have flour. That's the thing. Even a rich fudge brownie will get firm on top to a point that if you press into it, it'll have some spring to it, okay? But this does not. So once it comes out, I'll let you all see it, all right, so that you can have an idea about where it's going to finish, all right? All right, I'll give you guys a breather. Big hand on the tube.